Of course, voters in North Carolina aren't the only ones heading to the polls today. In fact, delegates are up for grabs in several states right now.
Let's check in with some of those other states right now, starting with our neighbors to the north up in Virginia.
I'm DEANNA here in Norfolk, Virginia, and we've seen a steady turnout at the polls so far this morning. In a recent survey from the Hampton University Center for Public Policy poll, it shows that former Vice President Joe Biden is the candidate that Virginians hope can beat President Donald Trump. Now, he's only beating his contenders by a slim margin. We know that the polls close here in Virginia at 7 o'clock. That's all for now from Virginia.
I'm Emily Allen in Denver, Colorado. Right now, 1.2 million Coloradans have cast their vote heading into Super Tuesday. Here in Denver, voter turnout is sitting at about 32%, which is a high percentage for Denver, where voters tend to vote late. And that's why local election officials are bracing for a lot of ballots coming in today. An estimated 100,000 ballots expected to come in today alone. Candidates are going to be fighting for 67 delegates here in Colorado, and we're going to start learning of those official results when the polls close at 7 p.m. We're going to stay on it here in Colorado.
I'm Emily AKINS in Oklahoma City. Here we had 50,000 voters cast early ballots. A citywide sales tax issue could bring more voters to the polls today. Also, multiple counties here in Oklahoma will be voting on Sunday liquor store sales. As far as the race for the White House, 4 years ago, Bernie Sanders won the Democratic presidential primary here in Oklahoma. This election cycle, we've had multiple visits from multiple candidates like Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, who was born right here in Oklahoma City, and Michael Bloomberg. Dr. Jill Biden is here in Oklahoma City today, stumping for her husband, Joe Biden. The polls here in Oklahoma close at 7 o'clock tonight. That's it for now from the Sooner State.
And that's still just a handful of the states participating in Super Tuesday. As NATALIE Brand reports, the Democratic field is shrinking once again, as about a third of all of the country's delegates are up for grabs.
Senator Bernie Sanders cast a vote in his home state of Vermont, one of 14 states in American Samoa voting today, with roughly a third of Democratic delegates at stake.
To beat Donald Trump, we are going to need to have the largest voter turnout in the history of this country. We need energy. We need excitement. I think our campaign is that campaign.
Sanders has an edge in delegates and polls in key states heading into Super Tuesday, but former Vice President Joe Biden is now trying to consolidate the moderate vote.
The Democrats want a nominee who's a Democrat, a lifelong Democrat, a proud Democrat, an Obama-Biden Democrat. Then join us.
Biden received a boost Monday night with 3 former presidential hopefuls throwing their support behind him.
While I'm ending my campaign, I can't think of a better way to end it than joining Vice President Biden.
The 11th hour shakeup in the race forced some voters to make a last-minute decision.
I had wanted to vote for Pete.
Virginia voter Nancy McKenna says Monday's endorsement of Biden made a difference for her.
I mean, it was significant in the sense that I had to make a shift, but also I think it helped me make a shift that may, in the long run, have been necessary.
Former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg enters Super Tuesday as the wild card. Tonight will be the first test of his unorthodox campaign and unprecedented spending. The billionaire is already looking beyond Super Tuesday, campaigning in Florida.
I have no intention of dropping out. We're in it to win it.
So is Elizabeth Warren, who voted in her home state of Massachusetts, but is expected to head to Michigan tonight. NATALIE Brand, CBS News, Alexandria, Virginia.